Hello guys, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Regan's Rugby Strength and Conditioning. Got another cool guest for you today. He's a strength coach, gym owner, online coach, tons of other things. And I thought it'd be cool to chat to him and steal some of his precious time. So cheers, Dean, for giving us your afternoon today. How are you doing? Where are you based at the moment?
Yeah, I appreciate having me on, Regan, man. I'm based in Loughborough, Leicestershire. We get a little bit of sun, not too much though. So my gym's there, and then obviously online, I coach people literally all over the world. So yeah, I've got quite a lot of different sort of projects that I work on, and really the thing for me is to try and reach as many people as I can. That can help people develop and move forward in all aspects of strength, mindset, and everything.
Mm-hmm. And then, so just so these guys know a bit more about you, do you want to give a little intro of like your competing career and maybe a couple of those projects that you're doing so they know a bit more about you?
Yeah, so I've been doing a strongman. I mean, when I first left the army, I was doing all sorts of different disciplines of training. I've literally, I humbly say it, I don't want to sound big-headed, but I've done everything you can do in the fitness world, and I found myself going further and further towards the strength, enjoying that more. Competed in powerlifting for a few years, become pretty good at powerlifting. Was going to take that really serious, but then started strongman and realized how much cooler it was, just to put it like that. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's just such a different sport, strongman. So I went into strongman 2 years ago.
Oh, is that it?
And in the first, yeah. The thing is, I went from powerlifting. I went straight to, which I didn't know at the time, but I went to a world qualifier at Birmingham NEC. And I didn't realize it was a world qualifier. And,
for strongman.
Yeah. And I literally went there with a really strong base and a little bit of prep with movement. Just to put it straight, I got my arse handed to me. I wasn't expecting the level it was at. And literally, I thought it was Birmingham NEC. It's the Fit Expo. I thought it's just, a normal sort of like generic comp, but it wasn't. And yeah, no, but I fell in love with it at that point, to be fair. Although I sort of like had a bit of a nightmare every day, I just literally fell in love with it. Did every competition I could after that to try and really gain the experience. And yeah, in the first year, I got picked up by Strength Shop and SBD, which, obviously both really big brands. And then I went down the pro route in strongman. So I made it to Worlds in 2019, and I came ninth that year. And then going on from then, to bring to where we are now, I've moved up a weight category, and that's just simply because I struggle to stay under 90. Mm-hmm. They're all competitive, they're in their own way, but once you have to cut too much weight, mm-hmm. it becomes pointless on your performance.
It's a bit sketchy there, but I think we've got everything. And just if anyone that doesn't know what getting to Worlds he means he competed at the world's strongest man at under 90, right? Under 90 kilos.
Yeah.
And there's weight categories like boxing. There's under 90, under 105, and then open. So we got to world's strongest man at the weight category after competing for 1 year.
It was one season. So you go through the competition sort of at levels. Like you've got Midlands. So as long as you qualify for each one, then you move on to the next round. So you've got Midlands, England's, Britain's, Europe's, and then Worlds. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my first season, I got to Worlds.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah,
better cool than my stories, boys.
It was pretty cool, and I think, I don't know, I'm the sort of person that will do whatever's needed to get to where I want to go, and I've always been like that. So for me, I wasn't really taking it. Not that I wasn't taking it serious, obviously, but I wasn't really absorbing it. I was just enjoying it and just doing it. And then in Florida in Worlds, it's obviously quite a surreal experience, and you're around obviously you've got all the big guys, the masters, and everyone else. And I went over with one of my mates and Terry Hollands, and hanging around with Nick Best and all those guys there.
That's sick.
The top dogs, yeah. But it was pretty cool. But no, everyone supports everyone. We're all in there to to go through the battle together. And no, it's good.
It's good camaraderie, like rugby. Like maybe in rugby, the 80 minutes you might hate them, but after it's okay. But even in strongman, if someone who like you might not like if they get a PB, it's still like well done, like fair enough. Like you're still getting PBs and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's good support in that sport. What's strongman done this year? I guess there's nothing, right? COVID lockdowns and bullshit.
Yeah, it's been super crap, to be fair. I mean, obviously, it's so frustrating as a coach and as an athlete. Like, it's you know yourself. You're here to motivate people. You're here to inspire people and help them develop. Still, we're fighting something we've never fought before. So, everything's guesswork, isn't it? But no, it's tough, man. Because obviously, like for me as an athlete, I've not been able to compete at all. Worlds is the only thing that was allowed to go ahead, but last year, November, the Worlds is for us, and it's last year at November obviously was a shit time, wasn't it? Like there was nothing; it was all at a standstill, so they just wouldn't let us go out of the country or anything. And yeah, so for me, really, I've just got to stay focused and keep peaking, like mini peaking myself, and get myself. So I moved up my weight category because I used to sit around sort of like 97, 98. And, for a 90 athlete, that's a lot to cut. And because I was cutting so much, every time I was at a competition, I always, I was always around the top 5 or top 3. So I was always around the podium. I just could never win a competition. And it was all because I was cutting my calories. So I really started to suffer in my performance. And then obviously I went to 105s this year. Last year, sorry, I'm losing my time. I came second in that, and then from
second
there.
In which one? Sorry, buddy.
That's the Arnold's qualifier. So that was
sick.
That would be basically to go to Arnold's. I've actually got a place for it as well now. So yeah, but it's it's a tough one this year, isn't it? Like nothing has actually gone ahead, and we can't sit in our own shit and cry, can we? We've got to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's tough for motivation, I guess, for maybe me and you, like with nothing specifically to train for. I'm just kind of lolling around, like there's nothing really I'm focusing on anyway. But it's difficult for me to be motivated, and I've been a coach for like 6 years. And when strongman events come out, you see, right, I got these 6 things. I'm pretty much going to do these 6 things to the death for like 4 months. And I don't know if they're not there. It must be difficult to like find the drive to do it. When I did strongman in the season, which is basically long summer, I'd be like on it and smashing it and everything. And I told these guys before, off season was Christmas and birthday. I'd put on toast 2 stone and hardly deadlift like 100 kilos. So it's like, it's hard even for me, and maybe for Dean as well, when there's nothing to train for. But that's when it's important to get coach and to get help to sort of give you a plan, give you that motivation, which is important.
A lot of people say, don't they? Like some people say, are you the person that do you train to compete or compete to train? And I quite simply need a competition. Like that's how my head works. I think a lot of people need. You're trying to work it which way around it is.
I was trying to play it while also paying attention.
I think a lot of people need a competition.
Yeah. I would.
Things to focus on.
I forgot it around. It's a bit sketchy, but I think we're still going. Cool. So that's where you are now. Upper weight class, still smashing it. Hopefully, obviously, gym's been a bit tits up from last year. Do you want to tell them about the gym? It's not a purely strength gym. It's a just general population gym, right? And maybe talk about the guys you coach online, because that's a bit more specific strongman, right? Or you tell me.
Yeah. To be honest, we've had a massive shift. So the gym has been around since 2014. Because of my background of what I used to do then, it was very much boot camp style. We then brought it indoor and we added weights. So it becomes sort of more like a functional fitness sort of, center. And that's what I then called it. I ended up calling it functional fitness center. A few years down the line, I got more into strength training, got more serious about it, started to bring that into my members, and they really took well to it, like just generic squat, bench, deadlift, and pressing. Bringing that into everything. They loved it. They really got attached to it. So then I rebranded the gym then as Strong Lean Fit, because I wanted to come away from the functional fitness sort of focus, because it was too CrossFit for me, if you like. So
Yeah, that was the gag a
I
few years ago.
brought the brand to become Strong Lean Fit. Yeah, but the thing is, it's tough, isn't it? Because we used to get people come in and go, so I used to explain what it is, and they'll go, all right, yeah. So basically, it's CrossFit. I'm like, no, it's not CrossFit. But it's, as much as like we do like CrossFit, really, like there's just that banter against CrossFit because people get injured. But no, it's that thing, isn't it? And I was just like, so I pulled it away from that, and we went to Strong Lean Fit as a company. But fast forward to now, like, with all it's a bit of a emotional sort of journey, I guess, but with everything that's gone on this year, last year, with where I'm at with everything in life, just in general, I just had a really good think about things, and I thought, you know what, I need to now start to work with people that I want to work with. And any business owner will understand this 100%. And it sounds very harsh towards a client, I get it. But at the end of the day, I am my best self when I'm coaching people that want to get strong. And for me, it was trying to mold that for the reason of everything that's gone on. So that being said, this year now we've rebranded again. And it's called Serious Strength Academy, and it's the brother of that, really, and it's basically the HQ of me now, and where I'm situated. I run my workshops from there, my courses from there. The gym is going to be an unmanned gym, so we've gone from complete coached training to online training, basically. It's still completely coached, but it's just not face to face.
So it's a strength-based gym, but that encompasses a lot of things. And obviously you mentioned mindset as well is super important. Obviously, if you don't get your mind right, then it doesn't matter how many workouts you do and stuff. So it's mainly sort of strength-based training, but pure strongmen, or everyone's welcome, or what's that?
Yeah, everyone's welcome. Like something I want to be quite clear about. We did a load of adverts the other day for the gym, and something I said in there is, the gym is called Serious Strength Gym. I want people to walk in there that are serious about getting strong. That is the rule. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter what stage you're at. I'm here to help anyone who wants to get strong. And I want to keep it that way, because as much as I work with athletes, so all my online guys are all athletes in some way, shape, or form. But the guys that will be in the gym, I just want to inspire people, man. Like, at the end of the day, strength sounds cheesy, but strength has probably saved my life. So it's one of the things where I put a lot into it, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. And I know it changes people's lives,
And you were saying before that training people that you want to train is important. I mean, if you're listening on a podcast, the way Dean was talking about it, he just leant in and was just shouting at the camera, which is fucking awesome, because he loves training strength athletes. And we can talk about personal training, regular people. Like, we love helping everyone, but I can connect with whoever's listening or watching more than I can the 55-year-old lady who just about do a bodyweight squat. And I can help you better and get you better at that. And it means that, well, we can just do it better, basically. And to specialize is a good thing. You're not putting your palm up at people, but if someone else can train that other client that's got different needs and wants and like jokes or whatever, then they can go somewhere else, and you can have you guys that want to be seriously strong, which is fucking great. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I think, it's took, obviously I've been coaching now for like 11 years, and it's took a long time to get to this stage. And you'll know yourself, it's, things change so often, don't they? Your views change quite often. We're always going the same direction, but things crop up, don't they, and make you think slightly different sometimes. But yeah, I think for me, like, I've just hit a point where I literally want to work with people that are dedicated to change. At the end of the day, the people we used to work with, it served us well. It's got me in a good place in life for many reasons. But at the end of the day, right now, all my energy goes into strength. So, you know, I just want to make sure that I'm happy in everything that I do. And, you know, I give my best self, as opposed to, you know, talking to someone that wants to lose weight nowadays. It's not really me, you know what I mean? And I'd be kidding someone if I said I enjoyed it.
And you'll be more enthusiastic about the strength training. And if you attract more of them, then everyone's happy. So it's awesome.
Yeah, sure.
What was I going to say? Oh, another topic. Any rugby players come in your gym?
We've had them on and off, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's been such a long time now that I've coached people one-to-one. So when I used to coach people one-to-one, I'd bump into a lot more different sport players, but, you know, sport individuals. But yeah, we because ours was group training, we just have a mix of everything, to be honest. We tend to, for some reason, used to have a lot of runners and cyclists, strangely. But then we'd have the odd football, rugby. You know, obviously, you know, doing the style of training that we used to do, it's like power building, if you like, when it was, you know, branded as strong, lean, fit. And power building, as you know, helps many sports become stronger and fitter. It's, you know, it's a great process to use. But yeah, rugby specific, no, we didn't really have, you know, like a lot of just one individual. I've always found it interesting though. So one of my coaches, Becky, she's a professional rugby player.
Nice.
She's got a few caps for England, and
wicked.
I'm going to be really bad now. Forget who she plays for. It's the university team. I know. It's on the tip of the tongue. But it's the university team, and they are like the elite of that level. And they obviously have got feeders into England. So yeah, but she's a great rugby player, and I'm always asking her questions, like, because I just find it interesting how I like to work out how to get people stronger in their sport. Although I've never gone into the sport conditioning, I just find it interesting. I've worked with a lot of MMA guys in the past, and I always found that an interesting one because, again, strongman, like pick up a bag and run with it, slam it over your shoulder, jump with it. It's perfect for MMA, isn't it? And I'd say the same for rugby if I'm not, you know, if I'm right. I think it's true, but surely it's the same sort of thing.
A lot of contact sports, it's very useful. It's moving big things. It's moving your whole body. Going forward and backwards is important. Carrying stuff, picking stuff over your head. I like strongman circuits because then it's still got the sort of conditioning element where you maybe might do 45 seconds and then a bit of time to change, and then a team can do it all together. So that's like pretty fun. But yeah, I love it. Some people say that it's not sport specific. It's not going to this and that. But if you're lifting heavy shit, if you're moving with it, it's going to be useful. It might not be the most super specific advanced that's going to help a England player, but if you're at a local club, which you probably are if you're listening to this, go get some tires, get some bags, get a fucking, what's the word, sledgehammer, and do a circuit with some of your mates. And it's perfect. Everyone can get that. There's going to be a few tradie guys in your club. Just pick up some stuff and get it done. And it's fun as well. Like, that's the most part. If you can train and you can enjoy it, then that's important as well.
It's funny though, because I've never tapped into it, but I would love to, you know, like plan out like what would be beneficial from strongman over to rugby. Do you know, obviously, Adam Bishop, he's strongman. He's Harlequins head coach. You know, and obviously I always used to chat to him about, like, you know, what does he use and this, that, and the other. I mean, he's very specific on, I mean, you know, forgive me, I don't know rugby, so I wouldn't be able to tell you a position, but each position, he splits them all down and they do individual things. Do you know what I mean? He's very specific on that. I mean, he's Britain's strongest man this year, so he's, you know, definitely reached the top. But yeah, so like, it's like the way he uses it very clever. But I think there's definitely parts of strongman that, like you say, will carry over massively when it comes to like the rugby conditioning side of things.
Yeah, and you need that if you're going to be a Premiership S&C coach, and you do put every percent and every kilo on. I just don't think there's many listeners at that level, so it's quite. You can still do that, and you'll get a better game, but it is how much time you have to put towards your hobby. If your hobby is your income and your job, then you're going to put 24/7. But if you play on a Saturday and you train for 2 hours a week, you put as much in as you want to. Wicked. So strongman is good. Tell us about a gym. You told me about, you got a cool sort of online project coming up that you're sort of working on. What's that?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, this is targeted at people. So I coach 30 athletes online, and that's me capped because, quite simply, more than that would probably stress me out. But I won't give my best self again. So I cap it at that. We've got the gym that is now converting over, and that's obviously something that I'm going to have to manage online as well with the programming. But I was just thinking of this. There's a gap. And the gap is basically people that are overseas, that my inbox in social media is ridiculous sometimes, and the amount of questions I get, and I love it because I want to help people, but you often, as a business owner, entrepreneur, you often think that you're not doing enough, and it's just one of those things, isn't it, that I think we all suffer with at some point. And I always want to do more, give more, and it was just, I thought, how can I deliver to the masses at a cheaper price, something that's better to probably forget about and pick up and put down when you want. So I just thought of it, of a membership website, of an app. I mean, we're going to bring it into an app 6 months into it, once it's all established and we've got everything in place. But first of all, we're going to kick it off as a website, and it's called Strength in Your Pocket. And the idea is exactly what it says on the tin. Like, it's having a strength coach in your pocket at all times. So, and the people that are in it, basically, you've got myself, who'll be running all the coaching side of things. Like, I've got 10 years in the industry of experience. I'll be going through like different programs, how to get over plateaus, different methods that I use to get my guys strong. And then I've got Mofo, who is my rehabilitation coach, if you like. He's my rehab guy. Yeah, he has got a real name, but he prefers Mofo.
I don't need it. It's fine.
He's just cool enough, isn't he? But yeah, so like he's one of the best in the country. Like, he really is insane. Like, when it comes to stuff, something I always claim with him is he fixed me twice over Zoom. Like, he didn't even need to see me in person. Like, when I'm in a real bad way. And his knowledge is phenomenal. He's a great guy. And then I've got also my nutritionist, who Uris. He's a badass. He's very blunt to the point, and he's just get results. You listen to him. Again, he's one of the best in the country, on that side of things. And then I've also got my mindset coach, Ella, who is, again, she's done 20 years of her service and what she does. And, she is the only person that has ever got me to open out properly, mentally, and got me to, I don't like to say fix, because we're never broken to be fixed, are we? But she's got me to really understand things better and move forward a lot in my own mental space. So yeah, it's basically just bringing all my team together, and that's what this website is all about. They're all going to be there. There's going to be weekly content of everyone putting it in, and it's £17 a month. It's less than a gym membership. Somebody who goes to, say, Pure Gym, who doesn't want to buy, who doesn't want to, invest into a coach or something like that, they can plug this onto their lifestyle, and it will just change their life, because at the end of the day, the stuff that is in there is all gold. It's just going to be from the top, out the horse's mouth, so they say.
That's wicked. Yeah, and you're encompassing all the different areas. And people will get invited to a seminar type thing, or how does the internal content work?
So basically, each of us have got a section. So obviously, like I say, I've got the programming, the training side. Each person's section, there's just going to be loads of content and courses within that. So for example, like Mofo, how to fix Achilles tendon issue. You know what I mean? There's going to be just bags of content. A lot of it will come from things that I've been through. So the easiest, and the reason that will be, is because I hear from all my clients all the struggles they have. So we're just going to collate them all and make sure we put information out there for them. But again, the website will be here for the most basic as well. If somebody's starting out in strength, or starting out in strongman or powerlifting, whatever it is, it's still going to serve them, because there's going to be sort of levels of experience within the site, so that it really takes you to the top.
Yeah, it sounds wicked. And the mindset stuff you said about learning how to open up is something that none of us guys do generally. And
No.
We've all realized in the last year, sitting at home is a tough space to be in. And without the social element, without whatever, you really kind of figure out what your thoughts are and stuff. And I learned how to actually like communicate with my partner in the last year, and you know, what sort of things do you want to do, or things that are just sort of put around you. So it definitely is something that, guys, we don't think of, but it's something to like go full steam ahead for. Say you got no gym, the thing you can work on is your brain and how you're thinking and stuff. So it's really important part of it that isn't really
huge.
touched upon, which is cool. Sweet. That's all your projects. You got any more for us, Dean? I told you guys, you got cooler stories than me. All this Terry Hollands and Alan Bishop, all that shit.
Yeah, no, to be honest, like, for me at the moment, you know, it's tough, isn't it, to try and not do too much. And there's a lot of things going on. It's like this morning, I've been talking to someone who has asked me to do, he's got a membership site. He's asked me to do a few videos for things like that. I've got a few collabs going on. Another mindset guy that I'm doing a series with at the moment, called Mind Strong. And again, it's mindset and strongman put together. That's basically what that's for. But yeah, for me now, like, you know, I just want to reach out to as many people as I can in many different formats and variables to try and, you know, to help people move forward. It's really quite nice because I get, you know, quite often I get messages that remind you of why you do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like last week, or a couple of weeks ago now, somebody messaged me saying that he's, you know, going through cancer. And this guy, bearing in mind, I don't know him, but he just messaged me saying he's going through cancer, and I've really kept him positive. And, you know, dare I say, it did bring a tear to my eye. But it's one of them things, you know, sometimes I think you forget what you do for people. So for me, it just fires me up and makes me want to do more, you know, like to reach out to more people. I mean, I'm doing a Tony Robbins course to be a practitioner at the minute of his, you know, Core 100 course it's called. And again, the things that I'm sort of learning on there is what I'm trying to also apply into my life and other people's. And, you know, mindset's a huge thing for me. And I think it's, you know, alongside like the workshops that I run, the practical workshops, I want to eventually set up mindset workshops where we're going through strategies and stuff of really trying to, I guess, reach people's full potential. You know, there's a lot of people out there, isn't there? Like you said, touched on it a second ago, that just don't reach their potential because they're not true to themselves. They're not putting practices in their life that are helping them develop further. And I think it's a massive thing. Obviously, especially over this period that we've just been through now, there's been a lot of, you know, mental attitude talk, hasn't there? And a lot of people feeling like they're completely lost. But there is strategies, there is ways around it. I'm not at the top of my game. I don't think anyone is. Tony Robbins, he has bad days. You know, it's just understanding yourself and managing things better.
And I bet when people open up to you, this is talking about guys in general, I bet the percentage of someone who you know telling you face to face is a lot lower than a message of someone you barely know. And that's just for some reason, we don't say it to our mate. We would talk to someone online and over message. It's just harder for us to open up. But it's super important. And that's sometimes the benefit of having an external coach, of someone who's not in your social circle. You can say a few more things. There's one of the clients who he was going through a divorce, and basically he can't talk about, or he just felt like he couldn't talk about certain things to anyone there. And it was good to help him go through that, because obviously where he was at, the unhappy place made him have these bad eating habits, made him have a bad relationship with booze, bad relationship with exercise. And if you can help them get through that, it's so much more important than here's some workouts, eat this food, see you in 12 weeks, mate. Oh, don't know if you're frozen or you just pausing for
It's true. It's true. I think, like, and you're right. Like, sorry, you got me.
I got you now.
But yeah, no, I think you're right, man. And the amount of people but I think the big thing really is to get the message across to people to spend more time on themselves. Because, you know, everybody's busy. We've all got so much going on, and especially, again, like, it's such a big thing. So obviously we just talk about it, but the whole COVID sort of situation it's took so much off so many people. And I think the people that will struggle the most are the people that are trying to grasp hold of what they used to have. You know, and that's in any form of whether it's work, life commitments, how often they went places, this, that, and the other. And by holding on to that life you used to have, you're gonna feel like you're failing. And that's the thing. You've got to try and change your perspective. Like, my life's changed massively, and it is for the positive, because at the end of the day, the things I've put in place have developed me further and progressed me forward. But the people that are trying to live the life that they used to have, they're gonna feel like they're sinking all the time, in my opinion. And that's where people have got to adapt. They've got to change. They've got to accept it. We've all been through so much emotions in this past year. Like, I'm sure we all have. It's just managing your own expectations as opposed to trying to feel like you've lost everything. There's always a way around it.
And if you do think that you have no time, we are all busy, yes, but if you break down your day hour by hour, there's maybe half an hour commuting, there's 2 hours of TV, all of which can be used, a podcast, a book, get some coaching with someone. And the mindset stuff is untouched in general by us boys, and probably girls as well. And once you dive in, it's like, shit, man, I didn't even fucking realize that. Or like, this is crazy, this world out here.
Yeah. The thing is, there's some really weird, I'll call them weird, but respectively, but there's some really like weird practices that you can do that when I first did them, I was like, I just feel odd doing them. But something I got into a while ago that was quite good is just, I set my camera up and spoke to myself.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I felt like a complete crazy man. Like, but I just went off, spoke to myself, and then I'll just listen to it later on in the day, and I'll just see the difference and it's just trying to understand like where your head is at and the things you're thinking. I mean, just behind my laptop screen here, but on the wall, I've got my color coded wall. Like, and I've just literally got everything that I do in a week. It's things like that, isn't it? It's being aware of what you're doing and your surroundings and how you're feeling. For me, that there is all my important things are in red, so I've got to get them done in a week. And then all the other colors are like the priority sort of lists, like going down in order. But it's having these things in place, isn't it, to make sure that you stay on track and you stay focused.
Is the video stuff kind of like a journal then, right? Because I've tried journaling, but not videoing.
To be honest, no, I delete them. They're literally, so I don't do them now. I did them for about a month, not long ago, but it really helped me at times of the day. And yeah, basically, I just used to record a couple of minutes, like 3, 4, 5 minutes of me talking. Just it was like I was talking to somebody, and then I'd listen to it later on in the day. And it's just to be aware of yourself. It sounds crazy. It actually sounds really crazy, but it also sounds like, well, how can that help me? But you'll be surprised when you start doing that every day. So you wake up in the morning, talk to yourself, later at night, listen to it. You might even say things like, today I've got this to do. Just get everything off your mind. I've got this to do, that to do, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, see if you've done the things, see if those important. Most of the time when people are in, let's call it a bad place, is they lose motivation. And something I always say to my guys, like, a lot of people say I fall off the wagon. We hear that term all the time, right? And they normally mean that with food, or they've lost the mojo, they've lost the motivation. All these things is because, or they just make believe. Because the thing is, motivation isn't an implement, is it? It's not an object. You can't see it. But motivation is built up by a multiple, array of things. So if these things aren't in place, then you have no motivation. So again, it's just understanding things like this. And if you're not completing jobs in the day that you set to do, maybe it wasn't important enough. So again, you need to retract from thinking that you have to do certain things, when actually there's important things that you will do, and then there's things that you sort of put pressure on yourself to do.
And it might sound a little bit harsh, but like, if the same word comes to mind as excuses, you can have excuses why you skipped that class, why you didn't do this, why you whatever. And when someone's inquiring and I ask them what they're looking to do, if the paragraph is filled, well, I had this injury and I did this and my this, and I have no time for this, and it could have just been excuse. Like, you need to stop that excuse frame of mind and find out why you want to do it. Whereas if someone is, I'm looking to do this, there's COVID now, so I'm not going out anymore, I'm not traveling to work, I'm at home, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, cool, that's a positive message from a positive person looking to make a positive change. And I'm like, this guy's probably going to join. Whereas, and it just, you need to, maybe someone needs to be shown to get out of the, I'm going to say negative and excuse mindset. It might be a bit harsh, but yeah. Don't know how to explain
No,
that. That's for your expert.
The thing is, it's the thing is, I'm a massive fan of using the word victim.
That's the one. That's the little one. There we go.
It's very harsh. It's a harsh thing, and if somebody was to say, you know, like that they can't do X because of X, there's always somebody that can do that thing because, and they've got the same reasons you've got, you know, same excuses. And that's what it's, you know, and it comes from myself. I tell myself these things because times when I'm finding things hard and, you know, maybe struggling or feeling like I've not got time, or, you know, we all feel these things, but it's what you do after it that counts, you know. And I tell myself that there's somebody right now in the same situation as me thriving like past where I am. You know, and for me, it keeps me focused. And I guess it only works with a certain type of mindset because, you know, if you say that to someone that already feels like they're on their knees, they're probably going to go flat on the face. So it can't be used with everyone, but I'm a big believer in being quite harsh on yourself because at the end of the day, if you want to be successful and if you want to be somebody, as that song is, you know, you've got to make sure you push forward. And that's the thing. You can't make the excuses and be the victim because the longer you be the victim, you then wear the victim mask, and before you know it, you've lost your own identity, haven't you?
Awesome, man. Getting some sick topics today. Starting off with the strongman, getting on to getting your head in the game. It's awesome. I'm going to flick on Facebook. Hopefully, people have been loving the chat, and I'm going to see if there's any questions as we're going. There isn't always, but let's have a little look. See. I'm going to go back in my Facebook group. If you're on Facebook and want to join the live chats, the Facebook group is Regan's Rugby First Team. No comments, maybe because, as we said, the gents are not very open to this stuff. But if you have comments either in the group, you can comment, or you can get in touch with me. Or this leads me on perfectly to the next question, which is, if anyone wants to get hold of you, Dean, where should they find you?
Well, it's a very good question. No, so my platforms are mainly Instagram and Facebook. I'd say Instagram is my number one, the place that I base myself for, you know, all my mindset stuff and strength coach and athlete. And that's normally where I am. My tag is dean.maden.strong. And then Serious Strength Academy is my business. So you'll find me on both socials, Facebook and Instagram on that as well. But I'm just actually building a YouTube channel at the moment. We kick it off officially next week. So on there, there'd be like loads of interviews of me and various athletes of all the, you know, all the top strongmen. I'm also doing my mindset stuff on there as well, where I'm working with another guy, Scott Anderson, and we're putting together some series on there as well. So yeah, YouTube will be a big platform for me in the future as well.
Awesome. So if you guys like what you hear, you want to get involved with Dean, find him on the socials or give him a little YouTube. Dean, I think we're going to wrap up there. Let's get on some wicked topics that are hopefully going to help loads of guys. And if you like the podcast, let me know. You can get in touch with me. You know how to get in touch with me. And hopefully this is going to help you change your mindset and you can sort of delve into some new topics. So cheers, guys. We'll speak to you next time.